Hey!
Don't spring us on
No!
like that right there, Marc.
What are you talking about?
Are we seeing this, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have our first sponsor?
We welcome into the sponsors fold. B&Z.
We're going places.
You know what's super cool too?
Tweaking a bank. Shaun Johnson effect.
That's what it is. Just the amount of work that I know B&Z's doing in basketball in this country. And
Yes,
then
sir.
seeing this as a chance to jump on as well. It's been super cool. So yes.
Yes, welcome, team.
That's huge.
Oh, let's make some magic together.
I might have to start banking at B&Z.
I'm going to
Let's do
switch
it.
over
Hey,
ASAP.
how's that work? You want Shaun's ones. B&Z, you're listening. Those are a couple
There's a
mortgages
bit
you
of a
want.
portfolio there. No.
Come on.
Without further ado, let's get into this week's show.
Love that.
Play On in partnership with BNZ.
Play on. Shaun Johnson. Aguero.
Okay. I don't know about that, but...
It's over. Pass is intercepted at the goal line. In your life have you seen anything like that? Elliott hits it up in the wrist and New Zealand are in the World Cup final.
Man, I'm just sitting here admiring this jersey I'm wearing. I'm going to start the show with that while my mate over here
man.
figures out what's going on.
Sorry, guys.
Quickly, can we just dial into this real quick? Up the Kiwis, baby. Look at that for a jersey.
That looks all right, my boy. That looks
Oh,
all right.
it looks good and it feels good.
Sorry, that B&Z announcement just took me out of my headphones there. Well done, B&Z. Hey, we're back for another show of the Play On Sports Show. Shout out to YOUKNOWMEDIA. It is brought to you by YOUKNOWMEDIA. Shaun Johnson, we are back. My tour Marc over here as well. We're back for another week, man. We got a sponsor.
we got an overarching sponsor.
Sorry, man. I just need a minute. That's
Yeah,
dope.
let's absorb that, eh? Let's absorb that.
Well done, team. Well done. I know,
As a part of the
Yeah.
the sponsorship too, there becomes a moment where I think in the show we've realised that when we get into a heated argument, there's just no stopping.
Okay.
So we will be introducing the Bank That moment, brought to you by
Oh,
BNZ.
that's
Bank
good. We
That.
need that.
And that's where the conversation has to stop. There's no ifs or buts. That's where it completely
Thank
stops.
God.
And then the community gets to decide who wins.
Yeah.
I need to know the parameters of this. Can anybody call that, or only you can call that?
No. Anyone can call it.
Okay.
Although I do feel like if it gets abused, if someone is just winning a convo and then goes, doesn't
Nah,
want to
that's
hear a
bank
rebuttal.
That's
Yeah, Bank That.
I like
Bank
that. All right, what is on the show for you today? Fifth and last is back in there with some headlines. Also, someone's joining us, aren't they, Marc?
They are indeed. It's going to be a special welcome to Bloke in a Bar to help us preview
The
who's
Beak.
left. Yeah, the Beak. Yeah, Denning Kemp.
Self-proclaimed best warrior of all time. We can talk to him about that. Shaun, are you going to break down some of the plays that you saw over the weekend?
Yes, sir. I want to touch on Nathan Cleary. Bro was on a proper heater.
Oh, he was good.
And some of the sequences he put out there were special to watch. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
I want to see who owns the number. All right, across all sports platforms, across all sports ever played. For example, if you went number 12, who would own number 12? Marc's pretty easy, right? Who's that?
Number 12?
That'd be Tom
It has
Brady.
to be Tom Brady.
That'd be
the
Tom
greatest
Brady, right?
football player of all time, yeah.
There's a few numbers that I want to go across, and we'll just we'll see who owns that number. Also, we're going crowd surfing on today's show as well, so a big one. How's your week been? You been all right?
Yep, really good. Figuring a few things out. But this is honestly the highlight of my week at the moment.
Come
so
on.
every time I come into this building and get to sit in this chair, I get extremely excited. So I'm keen for the show.
Man, I went to the gym yesterday, boys. I did legs.
Oh, Lord.
I have told everybody who I've actually had the chance to see, and now I'm on a podcast, everyone else listening. I did legs, and this is the embarrassing part. It was for the first time I worked out in at least this decade. I know, and then I started
don't want to say I
started
can tell, but
wind back the clock. Fair enough, too. I think we might be looking close to like 2015, 2016 was the last time I did a squat.
so is this going to be a staple of your workout now?
I'm going to try it once a week.
There
Try
you
and
go,
implement
bro.
it. Yeah, I feel good after it. You
There
know,
you
the
go.
endorphins were flowing after that. Legs don't feel too good right now, but I had the legs yesterday, family. The DOM, man. The DOM's through the roof. It's going to be the biggest thing that's happened to me over the last. Marc, how are you?
boy.
You right?
Yeah, I'm good. Nothing less interesting than hearing someone did legs at the gym, though.
I reckon our
Maybe
listeners
that's
are
why I
pumping.
don't do it, bro. Maybe I
They're
don't
in the
do it.
car listening to this wherever they're going, guys,
That's my guy right
that's
there.
him.
That's him. That's him.
I'm on ways, baby. I'm on ways. I squatted 80. It was bad. It was bad.
cute.
All right, let's get into the show.
Yeah, let's roll into it with fifth and last. Time to revisit some of the headlines in the sporting world and those that are coming forth. It is fifth and last, and let's start with Penrith and Melbourne await. That's right, big wins for the defending champs and the minor prems in the first round of the NRL playoffs. Now the they have to sit there awkwardly awaiting just who they might face. It's either going to be the Sharks, who'll take on the Cowboys on Friday night, and then, of course, the Roosters get to go again. They're taking on the Sea Eagles.
I literally read that because it's not the whole thing.
Penrith,
Awa.
Awa?
Penrith and Melbourne. Awa. Because that's kind of how they were. I was like, awa.
They were on, eh?
Man, they were so good over the weekend.
They were so good, man. And I think the two best are through. Yeah, it's very clear. But what they produced and the style that they played with, and we touched on it last week, the games at this time of year, it's refreshing to see two sides, I guess, have a clear identity on how they play and then go out there and execute at such a high level.
What is their identity? What is that clear identity?
Well, to be honest, I sat here last week and I spoke about the Roosters power game. And it's almost like watching the Penrith Panthers play on the weekend. They've gone, we are going to bully the bully. So that's what it felt like watching. They met them with the power game and some, and that first 40 minutes they produced was off the charts. Probably the best 40 minutes I've seen all season from them. Melbourne, they're a little bit different. I feel like they play through cues. Jerome and what he's seeing at the moment, Munster on the other side, and Harry Grant running off ruck speed. They're probably a little bit different where they'll move the ball to find momentum and then jump on the back of it and capitalise. So
that's called what?
Cues. Yeah, so you find cues, you know. Yeah, so you create, say, a ruck and then you just play eyes out, play off the back of it, and good play for better play. So that's what I see when I watch those two.
The commentators were saying that what I interpreted as a non-rugby league player was that when you're talking about the halves for Melbourne is that they don't play the tackle count, they play what they see.
Yeah.
And is that normal?
I don't think it's normal, but I think it's definitely sort of heading... Well, it's going to probably become the norm.
Is that what you would have wanted? Like, maybe not saying you didn't have it, but there seems like a freedom to go, this is what I see, doesn't matter about the tackle count. It could be second tackle. I'm going for it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what separates Jerome at the moment from the rest of the halves in the comp. His ability just to execute, because this is a completely different conversation. We have halves in the comp where they will see it, whether they second guess themselves to actually go and commit to it because of tackle count, where Jerome's just wholeheartedly in on every single play and backs his ability, and I guess his teammates around him are supporting him with it. So, yeah, I look at that, and I think that's probably going to be where a lot of the halves coming through are going to get to. Let's play eyes up. Let's play that play for that play, as opposed to having set-up plays.
Oh,
hey, keep the powder dry, man. We need you to be talking this way to Den and Kim. Like we're gonna fade out of that conversation just so we can hear the experts go at it. And headline number 2: UFC roll the dice in Vegas. UFC President Dana White knew he was risking a lot when he pushed through with his plan to run UFC 306 in the Sphere in Las Vegas on the same weekend as Canelo Alvarez was fighting in the T-Mobile Arena on Mexican Independence Day.
Yeah,
so did that hit or did it miss?
Well,
what's the consensus there?
Let me put it through this way. He rolled the dice and basically won. It actually cost them a hefty 20 mil to produce the show, which is a lot more expensive.
That's lunch money to him, though.
But what it would usually cost is around about 5, I'm led to believe, to put on a usual UFC event. But they spent 20 million to produce this one because it's the Sphere, because it's got the big screens. There's so much more to it. They took a record, generated 22 million gate sales, which shattered the previous record of 17.7 mil. They also set a merchandise sale record at the event. I don't know whether we count that, whether that's anything in
count
particular.
it, chuck it on there.
Yep, and then also the amount of social videos and views of the actual event itself. If you're looking on social media marketing and how many people got to see the Sphere in action, the what is it, 3 point something million, or it's a billion, sorry, a 2 point something $billion Sphere
Arena?
Is what they call it.
Yeah, arena, stadium, I don't know what you
arena,
call it.
Yeah, the Sphere. So yeah, I would say 2.5 billion. I think the venue looked epic. I would say the UFC won.
Yeah,
they won again.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they did. I think they won on the day, but I think what they were trying to win was new fans. And I don't know if you necessarily got new fans. And the reason I say that is because I had to actually go back and watch the fights, because Neeks, who actually watched all of our fights, he said the ones before the co-main and the main were incredible fights. But people tune in. The reason you remember cards is for the main fights, the top two. And those were a snore fest. And so if you're trying to get new fans, and that's the marquee product that they think they're going to see, is in the ring, or in the cage, is those two, I guess, wrestling matches. You're not getting the products. I think that's where they maybe messed up. They needed a bigger card across the board. They needed like a John Jones to headline this. They needed a Peloton, you know, like Alex Pereira headlines it, and then maybe Shaun O'Malley's right behind it.
Yep.
So I think there's wins across. The sphere was amazing. Maybe next time they get a better card and they've got the optics for it now to go, this is what it's going to look like. But I think in terms of winning new fans, I don't know if they necessarily won because, I mean, time will tell with this, but they lost their legacy fighters. Well, the last of the kind of legacy fighters was Shaun O'Malley being a scrapper. Everyone else kind of a wrestler besides from Peloton. The storylines aren't really there for the UFC at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's a fair take. It's a fair take.
I'd argue, though, that the fighters themselves, like the card, if that had been held anywhere else, they would have got no...
It's a bust either way.
It would have been a bust either way. But because they did it at the Sphere, because they used all the graphics, because it was amazing, it's so much social video, and most of the fans, if you're looking for the UFC, you'll find it before you need, this kind of thing. So maybe they took less of a loss than they should have.
But we live, that part I agree. That last part, we live in the world of like imagination, right? The what ifs of it all. Like, what if you had the Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje fight there, and that's the one that everybody sees and gets plastered across the world. Like, Dana can't do anything about how the fights play out.
No.
He can't. All he can do is hopefully set up the best event that he possibly can. I think the only thing he got wrong was maybe the people that were on that card.
Oh, well, moving through the $124 million NFL decision. Now, fans and commentators alike are worried about the brain health of Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Tua left the game after another scary concussion last Friday against the Bills. This is in the NFL, of course, and this is his fourth concussion in his career. 3 in the NFL, 1 in college at Alabama. And now fans are obviously, and experts alike are hoping that he takes a knee on his career and preserves his future after football. Now, in July, he was actually rewarded a $212 million contract extension.
Wow.
However, this is where it really gets a bit sticky because the NFL has been doing everything it possibly can to get rid of the headlines around concussion. When I say get rid of it, they're trying to look after the well-being of their players. You'll see the Guardian cap being used in trainings now. It's like basically a big headgear that gets put over the top of the helmets. They've got tests that they're trialing, litmus tests basically, where it can tell whether you've done something or you've been concussed. They're using doctor after doctor to try and help them, clear that headline that the NFL is full of concussions. However, we do arrive at a sticky position because of that $212 million contract, should Tua choose to retire, the compensation he will receive will depend on whether he is medically cleared to return to football. So if he is cleared to play, the doctors say, yep, he's good to go again, but retires anyway, he will forego $124 million of a contract. So, if, however, he is medically forced to retire, he will then collect all the money.
Yeah. Now, well, firstly, before we dive in, let's hope Tua's okay.
Absolutely.
Right? Let's clear that. Let's put that out there straight away.
He did walk off the field on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I look at this situation, right, and I love the comfort and the warmth that the NFL wants to put in to, I guess, look after its players, right? That's not an argument here. But they're in a sport my mindset could be a little bit different to our listeners or to you guys. Like, we play a sport where contact is part of it. It's like, honestly, in some ways, it's like me signing up to boxing saying, I don't want to get knocked out. Or I want to protect my head, but I'm going to go box. Like, these guys have already got helmets on. They've already got all this science and advice around the risk of it. And it's the same to any kid joining the sport. You know what I mean? Like, it is a risky sport. There's risk in everything we do. So for me to sit here and think about, there's conversation to call for his retirement after 4 concussions, I'm like, obviously, if he goes through the correct procedures, he shouldn't feel any pressure to retire, especially if he's been given the clear. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's not actually a conversation about retirement. It's like, all right, recover, seek all the professional advice you can get, and then let's play on. Like, it's as simple as that for me.
Play on, I like that. I have to agree with Shaun too. If you go the other way around, reverse order, not retire and then find out what the result is. Find out what the result is first. Am I able to play?
Yeah.
If I've been given the clear, I should be fine to play because these doctors who get paid whatever they went to school, they've studied, they get paid this big money, they clear me, I should be able to play.
Is this a little bit more of a talking point, Matua, and you'll be able to answer this, because of the blowback that the NFL has had from ex-players coming back to haunt them?
Yeah, I think a couple of things on that. For Brook's point, there has been proven over and over again how irresponsible doctors have been in the past and
Do you think they
putting
get
players
paid off?
back in. I'm not going to say it out loud, but there's plenty of evidence to suggest that doctors aren't aren't going in there with the players' interests best, at the top of mind.
Yep.
In fact, it's about the club, it's about the owners who pay them that says, yeah, that player should get back in. And then secondly, yes, CT has been so massive amongst the NFL. Now, the sport itself, it has a lot of head contact. There's helmet on helmet all the time, and those mini concussions have proven to be what has caused later on in life, and sometimes really early on in life, the scans where their brains have started to change, and they are suffering past the game, and that's why they paid out billions of dollars to former players already in legal cases. And what they're doing now is that they're suffering there's less kids wanting to play their sport.
Yeah.
So that's really dangerous for the NFL moving forward. So that's why I guess the limelight, that the big shining light is on the NFL at the moment. And in this story in particular, because it's a high-profile athlete with lots of money sitting on the table, what happens next is really going to be, very important for the NFL. As if he's forced to go back out there and he doesn't want to, but he has to because he needs the money, then that's a real dangerous area to go into. If he wants to keep on playing and it's got nothing to do with the money, and even though he's been told not to, then that's on him. That's his responsibility. But in the past, it hasn't been the athlete's choice. It's basically come down to doctors forcing them through.
Yeah. It's become a conversation now because he's a quarterback, right? This is happening a lot around the league, but because he's a quarterback, the limelight is there. We have these conversations now because he is such a marquee player.
I watched that game because Tua's my quarterback in fantasy.
Oh, no wonder you're get back out there.
No. Obviously, I was like, oh, bro, that didn't look good. But my understanding is they do have rules in place to protect what happened to Tua. Like, they've got quarterbacks being able to slide in, knees go down, and then there's no contact involved. For a second there, he looked like a running back. He just charged straight into that bad boy.
Yeah.
So there's almost an education piece in that as well.
Yeah.
There's preventative options available, but it's up to the athlete at some point in time to adopt those. Tua had the ability to take a slide, and that will be his learnings, no doubt. And I'm sounding like I know. And if you're listening, I actually don't know a hell of a lot about NFL. I'll be the first to put my hand up. But if you've got a rule, and I'm a halfback, if I had a rule that I could slide and not get hit, I'm doing that every day of the week. So, yeah, there's something in that.
Hey, speaking of not being hit, well, there's potential around that. Marc, I heard, I was doing some research, and my mate to my left there, his name actually came up. It was someone knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Now, you do have a Kiwis jersey on today now, too, my boy. All right, so let's just go to the horse himself. Is there a potential that maybe you're going to play for the Kiwis again? Now, what I heard was, before we go too far,
Fill me in on what you've heard.
the halves around New Zealand, and New Zealand's Kiwis halves are potentially injured at the moment. Dylan Browns of the world, Kieran Foran's forcing them out of, a possibility to play for the Kiwis. We need a halfback. You're still kind of just in the off season. I know we did the song and dance for the Warriors, but there's a chance that we might see you play one more time with the Kiwis.
Okay, how do I say this?
Yes or no?
Nah, look, I'm not playing. I just want to put that out there. I'm not playing. No, I'm not playing. But I did have a really good conversation with Stace, and it was more around the fact that, say if Jerome went down, touch wood, it's on fire, he's got a couple of big games to come up, then they would be in a real pickle. Now, Jerome is flying, he's going to get through fine. But if something were to change there, then, bro, I would never say no to that opportunity.
Really?
I would never, ever say no to representing the Kiwis. And also,
Jerome, don't get injured.
No,
We
don't.
need that.
No, that's not what we're talking about here. But it's more just like we're in a real pickle if Jerome did go down now because of Kieran being out and Dylan Brown being out. So I'm just in the background there lurking. And either way, hopefully I can get into camp. I can get into camp and help out in some sort of way. But
Stace, you need me, brother. I know we're down a couple players now.
oh, there's some things old Couchbook over here said he can do. So let's put it to the
Let me
test.
put that cutout ball to the wingers out there, Dylan in the corner. I got us.
No, but that's pretty much where it's at. Yeah, look, Jerome's going to be fine. If something were to happen there, then we'll have a conversation. Stace is across that, and I'm comfortable with that. So we'll see.
That's exciting.
We'll see. Yeah. My one, no, you can't. It's a sports show,
wow.
but
See what I look like in
you
it?
look all right in that light. Oh, that's my
on,
guy.
Stace, you need me?
Yes. Look, give him a look at that. Give him a look at that.
Let me get a frame.
Oh, that honestly.
All right now.
That's my guy. I reckon a running six. A running six for sure.
I'm not trying to worry about what tackle count we're in. I'm trying to see what
Your
the
eyes
eyes
up,
see.
baby.
I'm
Your
eyes
eyes
up, bro.
Hey, but
States,
either way,
give me the call, baby. I'm here.
Either way, up the Kiwis, eh?
Always.
We got them covered for sure.
Always up the Kiwis, bro. Always up the Kiwis.
Now, for my let's transition a little bit. We're going to the other code. All right, NPC. We've spoken a little bit about the NPC.
You're talking NPC?
I'm talking NPC, but
Wow.
not for maybe the reason you're thinking. There was a piece of content that floated out of the weekend's game. Harbour, Shaun Stevenson.
Oh, I saw this. Yes.
Yeah, bro. So they mic'd them up, and I watched this piece of content, and I was fascinated by it. I was extremely. I was watching it, going, man. I guess understanding what it's like to be in the environment, be in the middle of the park,
Man in the arena.
have things happening around you. I thought the way he spoke, I thought the way he obviously executed, and even his response, like his measured response to what had happened, it was almost all about, all right, I've just done something fire, but it's next job mentality. And I just thought it was real fascinating. I think it's an awesome watch for people who want insight.
Insight.
It's insight, really. And I think for the game of rugby, in particular, if you guys can start going down this road a little bit more, imagine that on a Damien McKenzie or a Bowden Barrett in a game, you know, in a test
big match. Yeah.
Imagine not understanding what they were talking about or what was going through their mind or the manner of conversation 65 minutes into that game in South Africa. We would be dialed into wanting to hear what's going on.
I love when the NBA players get mic'd up. I love it. And you're right, insight, and I would love to see as high as we can take it. You know, it doesn't get much bigger than an All Blacks test match against South Africa, and we somehow hear these boys being mic'd up. I just think, I don't know who this is, but it's maybe an NZR, or maybe it's not. But whoever it is, these things need to happen. They need to start to become a thing here in New Zealand.
Yeah. So that's what I had. I thought it was, awesome work by the NPC and awesome work by Shaun Stevenson.
Well, your lifting doesn't end there, Shaun, because we are going to bring into the show the man they call Bloke in a Bar.
The beak.
And let's talk through who's left, who's actually got a chance against the minor prems and last year's follow-on champs.
All right, we welcome into the show. This is dope. To wrap this one up today, it is none other than the self-proclaimed, actually not even self-proclaimed because everyone's talking about it. It's the greatest warrior of all time.
Okay.
Dennis Kiwis himself, Bloke in a Bar.
Yes, boy.
Holy heckers. Greatest warrior of all time might be the biggest overstatement in the history of mankind, but I'll take it.
Do you know what's so funny, guys, is we were lucky enough to see Denon maybe a month ago in Perth. And Denon himself was, when Shaun wasn't here, going, well, they actually call me the greatest warrior of all time. I don't want to blow my own horn. Now Shaun's here, he's like, wow, it's a bit of an overstatement. I don't know about all
You
that.
stick to your strengths, Beak. It's you, baby.
Hey, bro, let's talk NRL. Obviously, it's the best time of the year for the NRL. We think you do an absolutely incredible job. I think Shaun is potentially going to be jumping on that side as well. But it's the pinnacle time of the year. I look at it as like there's two teams right now that can win it. Do you feel like the four teams that are playing this weekend actually have a chance to win this whole thing, or this really is a two-horse race?
Oh, I reckon Cowboys have the roster to potentially go with some of the top-tier sides. I think Cronulla and Manly, I just don't know how they're going to beat a side like the Storm or Penrith. I just think they're way too big, too powerful, too explosive. Whereas I look at the Cowboys side, and although they're super inconsistent, like their roster is unbelievable. Like you've got guys like Nanai and Lukey. Their back rowers are probably the best young back rowers in the competition. They got the most Origin players in the competition as well. It's just a matter of like, can they put it together? That's the big question. So in reality, it's most likely going to be Storm Penrith. However, maybe Cowboys could upset. Maybe.
Yeah, I love that chat. And I just want to touch on Lukey quickly off the back of that. That boy is big. He came back from a knee, I think it was last year, and we were playing the Cowboys up there, and I looked across the park, and he'd just come on. And I actually asked, I said, who is that? He was the back row I had to mark, and I just went, no, not another one. Seriously, like, you get over it at some point. So I want to, that's a great summation, because Nanai and Lukey in particular, when they get the ball in their hands, as an edge defender, you get sweaty palms. You know, they're not just big.
Tamalolo's out there too.
Tamalolo wants to drift out there, but the way that they come up with plays these days, you know, like a lot of traffic does go down the edge channel. So, yeah, those two in particular, it's a fair reason why they can go deep into the comp for sure.
Mate, I love him. And also the crazy thing is like when Lukey was coming through, he was actually like more highly touted than Nanai. and it was actually Lukey had quite a few injuries, and so Nanai kind of jumped the pecking order to make Origin. So I think once people see Lukey on the field for a long period of time, they're going to see how good he is. He's absolutely massive. He's got great footwork, but he's got a really good motor too. Like he can get through your 40 tackles, 120 meters a game, which is very rare for a guy of his physical stature. And I just think that with a guy like Dearden, it's also Origin level, if he can just get them both into the game, who knows what can happen, you know?
And you're right, they have experience across the board. Can we just stay with the Cowboys for a minute? They go under the radar. Every year, when they had Thurston, they're going under the radar. You say this right now, they have the most Origin players. They have experience across the board. They look good. I watched the game over the weekend. They play a fast brand of rugby league. Why do we not talk about them?
Oh, man, I mean, to be honest, it's a little bit like the Warriors, you know, out of sight, out of mind. It's the North Queensland. They're not in the Sydney press.
It's geography.
It really is, just because they're in North Queensland. So the Sydney press, they usually focus on the big clubs in Sydney. Brisbane get talked about quite a lot because they own like most of Queensland when it comes to the headlines. But yeah, it's purely because they're based up in North Queensland, similar to the way Melbourne Storm, like this whole year, they've been pretty much on top of the table. They won the comp with 3 rounds to go, and like it took till round like 20 for people to realise, first of all, Jerome Hughes has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And second of all, the Melbourne Storm are a premiership threat, even though they've been killing it all year long.
Yeah.
Hey, Dina, before we let you go, who you got winning it this year?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I look.
Say
You
it.
know, I'm gonna hit you with a crazy stat that a lot of people don't realise.
We love stats.
Melbourne Storm have the second least experienced side in this current finals comp.
Wow.
And that's what worries me in a grand final against the Penrith Panthers. Yes, they have a spine that's played finals footy, but when you actually look at their roster, it's not like their rosters of old where they've got 3 immortals, Israel Folau on an edge, Greg Inglis there. Like it's not like that. Will Chambers. This is a new roster that Bellyache has built from the ground up. And so I just wonder, getting into a grand final, Fisher, Harrison, Leota, like that's just another day of the office for them against the forward pack of Storm.
Wow. So we're edging.
I think Penrith maybe. I think
love
Penrith
that.
maybe.
So wait. We're sitting here going, Penrith are going to go 4 on the bounce?
That's why.
Mate,
all the experience in the
so
world, bro.
I must have missed something along the way here, because I haven't really, like, respect to Penrith, right? There's no taking their shine away. But I have not given them maybe the credit that they deserve them, because up until the weekend just gone, I thought, nah, they can't go 4 in a row. I did say it. Like, we played them earlier in the year. I've seen some close games. I've seen enough from them just to be like, look, they've had a target on their back for long enough now that these teams are really chasing them, and they're just getting worn out. But to Dennis' point, like, if you were to pick a side and a player, or maybe even a player in particular, in Cleary, to deliver in that moment,
Who better?
either way, bro, what a final it's going to be. I think we can all agree that it's going to be them in the final. And I think that is the best possible thing for the NRL, because it's going to be the best product we can possibly consume. So, damn, that's crazy to think, though. Penrith are a genuine chance of going 4 on the bounce.
Hey, Kimmy, just before you go.
5 grand finals.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Kimmy, just before you go, ask Shaun the question whether or not he'll play for the Kiwis.
Wow.
Shaun, will you play for the Kiwis?
Why are you guys doing this to me? Hey.
I'm hearing whispers you're going to play for your, is it Lagos, your Asian heritage?
I love that you said Lagos. We're not in bloody Europe somewhere.
Lagos sounds nice.
Laos, though, hey, I'm probably more of a chance of making that team, to be fair.
Hey, Dennis, thank you so much, bro. We appreciate your time. The insight's always incredible, bro.
Anytime, boys. Just anytime you want me on, just give us a call.
Oh, bloke in a bar, you're a champ. Thanks, brother.
Play on in partnership with BNZ.
Play on. I need to get used to that.
What voice was that?
Who did that?
Not me.
You AI'd that? What'd you write in when you AI'd that?
Don't even ask.
Hey, I want to try something. It's as simple as this. Own it. And who owns it? I thought the best way to start this was who owns the number across all sports. All right, so I'm just going to fire out a few numbers and open discussion. We might agree on some, we might disagree on some, but across all platforms of sport, who owns that number. Now, we used the example before as number 12. I feel like that's a pretty simple one that we can all kind of agree that Tom Brady around the world would probably own that number.
Yep.
Kudos, we can agree on that?
Yeah, we're all on the same page.
And I don't think
Let's
we
not
have to
muck around.
We don't have to do a whole bunch of numbers, but there's a few that kind of caught my eye. I think it's a nice place to start is with number 1.
Well, that's a very good place to start. I imagine when we're talking about this, I imagine all the numbers are floating out in the water, right? And then these athletes are fishing, and they catch that number, and they might have a great enough career to capture that fish for real, or that number for real,
Right.
and no one
I
comes
see.
close to being able to recapture it.
I see. And it's interesting because, Shawnee, speaking about numbers, like you don't get to pick your number.
No.
Like in American sports, I think in basketball, it was such a big thing. Like I always wanted to play an 8. I would always play an 8. The reason wasn't Kobe Bryant, which everyone thinks is there was a guy called Monte Ellis,
Yeah.
who was my favorite player,
Okay.
the Mississippi Bullet. And I just, everything he did, I wanted to play like, including down to the number. So that was the reason I had 8. What did you have, Marc? I mean, you ventured out in a few sports.
33 was my number.
And why? Everyone has a why.
I think 33 was kind of, especially in the NBA, it seemed to be synonymous with kind of like a very handy big man. And I always,
Kinda
whether it was
was.
playing footy or, whatever it was, I'd kind of, 33 was kind of where
Who
I
was the
felt
greatest number
myself.
33? Who owns 33?
Oh, you know what? You should get allowed me to research that one.
I
Let
think
me
it's
think
Kareem.
on that one.
I think it's Kareem.
Yeah.
Can I just say,
or
I
maybe
did-
Larry Bird.
I did get to choose my number once, and
What'd
that
you
was
go?
when I played touch.
Oh, what was it?
It was number 6.
Ah.
Number 6, all right? So I was influenced like you, and that was purely off the back of Benji Marshall.
On bench.
Oh, I just wanted to get out there and just throw some mean.
Whack, whack.
Yeah, so that's I get where you're going with this, all
Yeah.
right?
All right, let's start with number 1.
All right.
Like who owns, like Marc said, you went fishing out there for that number, you come back with number 1. For all the great athletes that have ever donned the number 1, who would you say owns the number 1 jersey?
You want us just to throw out names?
Throw out a name. Throw out whoever you think. And we might agree
Wow.
on it, we might not.
I loved Derrick Rose. I loved Derrick Rose when he was in the 1.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2012? That was like MVP.
MVP
run.
Derrick Rose?
MVP Derrick Rose.
For the culture, Derrick Rose.
That's one that comes straight to. Oh man.
Cam Newton, Devin Booker, Penny Hardaway, Oscar Robertson were the ones that sit in my mind. But I have one overall person who I would like to nominate as owning the number 1 jersey.
I got you, yeah.
I think Iker Casillas, the former Real Madrid and Spanish football captain, he kept the most clean sheets in La Liga history, youngest player to ever play in a La Liga final, won all the major club titles, including 5 La Liga titles, 4, I've written this down so that I don't get it wrong, 4 Supercopa de España titles,
Okay.
2 Copa del Rey titles,
Oh, yeah.
3 UEFA Champions Leagues, 2 UEFA Super Cups, 2 International Cups, and 1 FIFA World Cup final. He spent 25 years in Real Madrid as well, which to me is the peak of football, world football, in terms of clubs.
Longevity as well.
25 years at one club.
How do we argue that?
Oh man, my one is Oscar Robertson.
Oh, Mr. Triple Dub.
Yeah, Mr. Triple Double. He was kind of like before. He was before everybody else. Like he was the guy in basketball. There's probably not a Dr. J without him, and then without Dr. J, there's not a Michael Jordan. Without a Michael Jordan, there's not a Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. He was kind of like the first, I guess, huge superstar in the way that he went about it. I want to go. My heart wants to go for D Rose.
Yeah.
Just for the culture, bro. Like, I heard some stories about Derrick Rose, for example. He had signed. So he's from Chicago, south side of Chicago, which is a tough place to grow up. But he played in his AAU team or his high school team, whatever it was. And he had signed his contract to go to Kentucky or Memphis, whatever university he went to. So he was sweet. He was sorted. And once he signed that, he stopped scoring. But all these scouts would still come and watch Derrick Rose. He stopped scoring. He only passed it so that the other teams could see how good his teammates were.
Wow.
And they went on to get these contracts because Derrick Rose did it for his boys.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, he's for the culture, but I have to go with the big O.
I'm not going to sit here and throw numbers and lines at you. I am simply going to go, who touched my childhood? And if I was to think of number 1, I
D-Rose,
think of
bro.
D Rose. It's
D
that
Rose?
simple. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Out of the 3, who's got the best highlight package? D Rose, bro.
Yeah.
And look, agree to disagree, Mark? I don't know, man.
Nah,
I might actually agree with Mark because whatever he said sounded
That
like
sounded
it was
impressive. So wait, what position was he though?
He was a goalkeeper.
Oh, see, I can't go there then.
Well, no, the thing is, though, is that
No,
how
no,
often do you see
respectfully, we are
captaincy?
not giving the number. Who owns the number to a goalie, bro? What are we doing over here?
Bro,
That's-
what's more important than
That's
holding
the
down
most
home base,
hey,
bro?
That's the most important part, is that he could captain from behind.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's
Pause.
crazy. Hey, what's the thing we banked that?
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's just be straight up and bank it.
Yeah,
Can we? Bank it, lad.
Yeah, that's bank.
Let's pause
that
there.
was dope.
Yeah.
All right, the next number I was thinking, Shawnee,
Yep.
number 7.
Oh,
I was thinking.
Is this
number
loaded?
I think his number 7 was.
No, but are you trying to get me here with something silly?
No, I think whatever number we want.
Well, then there's real no argument here. Let's not muck around. Shaun Johnson. Shaun Johnson
I thought he might.
is
Mark,
aligned with
Mark,
number 7.
I thought he might.
yeah.
What do you mean you thought he might? There's no one else.
I thought, yeah.
Can I go before you?
can I go?
You go. You go.
Oh, God.
Can
Here
I
we
go?
go again. Yeah, here we go. I'll just put the mic away and sit back while you guys try roast me.
Story career. Love what you did. Very few people did what Shaun Johnson did.
Yeah.
You had a stadium named after you. You don't even own the number in the country, my boy. You don't even own it in New Zealand. Like, I don't own a number either. Mark, neither do
No,
you.
no.
So the fact you're in the conversation, incredible.
Thank you.
Richie McCaw might have something to say about that now.
Who's that?
You know?
Seriously, who's
Greatest
that?
Kiwi captain of all time. I don't actually even know
Nah,
if he
but see,
lose the
there's a
game with
difference,
the All
Bart.
Blacks.
There's a
bro?
difference, lad. There's a difference.
And Richie we trust. You know, like, you, with all due love and respect
I'm just
to
saying I don't know who that is.
brother.
And I think that the audience listening to this are going to support me. Guys, please support me because I am being attacked right now. And I want it nice and clear. There's no one else that you align a number 7 with than Shaun Johnson. Okay?
Can I?
There's no one else.
I'm not going to come with any facts. I just want to throw a couple of names at you of number 7 wearers.
Okay.
Little General.
Oh, Stace.
Uh,
There. Who's the, ooh.
David Beckham.
Oh, Bex Bender. He
Who's
had a
she?
he had a movie, didn't he? Oh yeah, I remember him. He was pretty good.
George Best, Eric Cantona, a couple of football players. No namers. Michael Vick. I mean, he got in the news for probably some of the wrong stories.
Yeah, he's disqualified.
John Elway, Barry Bonds, Mickey Mantle.
Don't know them.
Barry Bonds.
Perhaps maybe we could settle on Cristiano Ronaldo as just someone or something that holds the 7 jumper pretty high up.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
You know, I found out he's got a currency now in Portugal.
A currency?
Yeah, like there's a 7-cent coin.
Fancy
I'm
that.
taking some
around
breaths
him.
over here.
It's a 7.
Should
But
we,
the fact
Hey,
you're in the
Martua,
conversation, though,
stop! Give me my Frank Energy moment.
Oh, he's Frank. Really?
Give it. I am sick and tired of being attacked while I sit in this chair and you guys loading me and building me up like the rest of this media in this country did my whole career just to cut me down. All right? I believe in myself. I am Shaun Johnson. I wore number 7 for a long enough time that if the kids are listening to this, if you're a supporter of me, you will jump in these comments and back me up. Cristiano who? David Beckham who? Stacey Jones does hurt because he is the GOAT. Damn it.
you forgot
But
Richie McCaw, brother.
Richie McCaw. He got carried. Oh, Lord, I just said that. But anyway, this Frank Energy moment, you guys back me up here. Shaun Johnson, if you're a
Hey,
little kid and
that's
you had
my
my
boy.
number put on your jersey and I turned around and I signed that bad boy for you out at Mount Smart one of these days, you got my back. I love you.
We'll give it to Shaun, eh?
Yeah.
Shaun number
Thank
7.
you.
Yeah, Shaun
Double
gets number
down.
7.
All right.
I don't know why I got so triggered.
One more. We'll go one more.
Yeah, let's go one more.
I think
Please do, because I don't want people just to have that lasting memory of me arguing. That was
I kind of like that. I think the number 23 is where you kind of have to finish this. Well, I don't know if it's. Oh, we might be on the same page.
Hard
Actually,
out. You guys will
Shawnee, who
definitely
you
be on the
got?
same.
Who you got?
I don't want to. I just want to listen. Can I listen first? Because I feel like we'll all be on the same page with this.
We actually might be.
There's
Mark,
only really one.
who you got?
Be careful what you say now, Shaun.
Well, LeBron.
Come on, baby.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Oh, no,
on, he
sorry.
might
We're
go-
talking
he might go
different
right.
ages here. Yeah, we're talking different decades here. So let's let him have his. This is what we do.
I need to hear him say it.
No,
first.
I'm not cutting anyone down.
Yeah.
All right.
The number 23.
Oh, here we go. He put the God voice on.
Yeah, he's got that voice.
A long time ago when Maui was fishing up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that long ago. The number 23 was still floating around in the ocean. But then one man fished it up with an incredible career. And not only with that, the number 23 becomes synonymous with a culture of basketball. Like basketball was sort of it. Michael Jordan came along, those Bulls in the 90s. They put basketball on a map. And then fashion, back-to-back fashion as well with the shoes that he dropped, all emblazed with the number 23. And it was from that moment onward that a culture was born. Like everybody knew 23 belonged to Michael Jordan.
Damn, bro.
Now, anyone else who comes after Michael Jordan rents the number. They're paying rent on that number. They will never ever be the first to do it. They will never ever be the last. Others will come after them wearing the number 23, but no one will quite be Michael Jordan.
That was a bar, bro.
That was good, man.
Holy, how are you gonna? I'm kind of like.
Wait,
with
so you're saying
Matua
that
now.
he owns the number 23 or he's the GOAT?
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't say that he's the greatest basketball or all-round basketball player of all time. I'm not getting into the GOAT conversation, but in terms of the number 23, there's no one else. Everyone else is renting.
My concern, while you conjure up your response there, my bro, like, was there anyone else before him?
That's the correct.
I
That's the
promise you, there
correct
was
question.
no one
to
That
ask.
is the correct. Was anyone else before Michael Jordan wear 23?
And now everybody else wears 23 because Michael wore it,
Okay.
including David Beckham.
Okay.
Bex did go and wear it.
See,
you're
that's
right.
crazy. I even thought LeBron straight off the bat. But I'm interested to hear because LeBron is still LeBron.
LeBron's great. In fact, I don't want to get drawn into the argument about the greatest
Oh,
of
no,
all
we are
time
here.
basketball player.
We are well and truly here.
And in terms of like what you achieve, all good. But we're talking about who owns
The number.
The number.
Man.
No, Brook, open up that book full of stats on basketball that you're about to read out.
You do have a book.
No, I got my laptops here with the stats. And
No.
I'm actually thinking,
Oh.
Marc, I grew up on Come Fly With Me to the max.
This is big for our show.
I want to be like Mike, the Gatorade commercials. I grew up on that.
Okay.
I know it back to front. Jordan, for the win. It's good. Over Craig Elo. I watched it more than anyone else. It's my favorite player growing up. And I have the shoes. I got them. I got the 1s, I got the 3s, I got the 6s, the 11s,
How many LeBrons do you own?
the 17s. They came in the suitcase. If you don't know about that, shush. There's levels to this. I don't know a pair of LeBrons.
Holy.
You know what I'm doing here is I spent time last night going, this is why LeBron owns the number 23. I have to fall on my sword. I have to go. Michael Jordan is the owner of the number 23.
Wow. Is that a first?
That would be a first, Brook. But I mean, like, it's cute. You turned up.
I had this big idea about, like,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan went there 6 times. He won 6 times. That's
Yeah.
cool. He actually was in the league 15 times. You know,
Yeah.
he was.
You're about to
Yeah.
argue. You're
You do
about
the
to
math
argue.
there. I was about to argue numbers
Yeah,
and stats.
careers and stats. And stuff,
LeBron's
yeah.
been in these songs, and
We're talking
Then I even
numbers.
talk Space Jam. You know, like we can't even have an argument about Space Jam. Like,
Wow.
I think the greatest player of all time. Don't get me wrong. The greatest
Okay.
player of all time is Michael Jordan. But after,
Oh, he's really
Whoa.
messed up now.
did I say Michael Jordan?
You
That's-
did. He's
Put out there,
bruised. He's limping.
Well, there we have it. So we've got, hey, we're all on the same side here. We've got Jordan for 23.
Richie McCaw's the best number 7 that we've ever had, all right? No, Mike owns the number, but LeBron's
Can I just
the
say
GOAT.
SJ's the best 7? SJ, because there's more than one. And who we go
We got number 1, Ika Casillas.
Nah, I'm not
No,
kind of
you're a
goalie,
goalkeeper?
man. That's the one we had to bank.
D-Rose, baby.
Yeah, I
D-Rose.
just can't go a goalie to own a number lid. Like, sorry.
Well, I reckon the community can decide on 7.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
You guys are just
we banked that one.
bro.
Yeah, we're banking that one.
Yeah.
SJ gets number 7.
Play on in partnership with BNZ. Play on.
Yes, okay, we are back. So this week on Insights team, I actually picked a clip from a game in the weekend, the Roosters v the Panthers. Now, I sat in this chair last week, and the reason this game interests me so much because I actually backed the Roosters, but it was all hinged on Cleary and how fit
Gotta
he
listen
was,
to me, brother. I know the ins and outs of the game.
how fit he was, and the contribution he would actually be able to have on the game. And
Because how hard is it to come back? I mean,
that's probably why I want to actually dive a little bit deeper into this.
Yeah.
Sounds great, Joe.
Man, it's hard. It really is hard. And I think in the manner that he's been out, sort of a lengthy stint, came in for 1 or 2 games, shoulder, goes out for another lengthy stint. Like the volume of game-like footy reps he's had has been so low. Like you can't replicate the speed, the fatigue at training.
what about the team itself? Like, how does it affect the team? Because all of a sudden they've been used to playing for, say, 3 or 4 weeks where they're getting the flow of the type of way this player plays. Then all of a sudden the player gets back in. Does that affect the team? Is
It does.
hard for
It
them
does
too?
to a certain extent. I think the team is greatly, well, probably more affected off the back of the rhythm of the person coming back in. So if Cleary's rusty, his timing's rusty,
Right.
that's when you'll see everything else around him probably, just be a little bit out of sync. But for him to come back in the manner that he did, best on ground by far, and the way they played, the energy they played with, I just thought I want to talk about this one clip in particular. So I think we've got it up now. So let's just get straight into it. So if you play this out, all right, now this is actually a sequence that Penrith had ran a few times throughout the night. So pause there. Before this, they actually played off the left strip for a shift out to the right where they actually brought Tungle back under. So I don't know how much of the clip we've got here, but if you drag it back a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further,
Oh, I love this. Break
a
it
little
down.
bit further. Let's just play it out a little bit further. How much do we have here? Okay, play this out. Let's just see what we've got. Okay, what they're doing with this sequence is what I've touched on is they are manipulating the defense. So they're tying up defenders to get defenders moving, get defenders switch and flip, and get Tedesco to put himself in the line somewhere. So this play here, all right, Tungle back under, pause. And what they have is they've got To'o pushing through the middle there. Now, when you're a lazy side in defence, it's easy for you to switch off. So their cue is if they didn't see Tupanua, the Roosters back row here pushing up, they're playing to To'o to play straight through that gap. Now, there's no cue there. So what does Tungle do? He takes a carry. But straight away, you've got defenders having to get into the ruck. You've got spacings in defence being manipulated. So play it out. It's a good carry for one. Let's not take anything away from that. But this part here, pause. So you see what Tedesco's done there? Tedesco has moved numbers. He has put himself in on the short side. And this is probably the bit where I was watching this on the telly live, and I actually thought in my mind straight away, I said kick. Because what Cleary had done the rest of the night is that Edge had got up high and he had played the play. So he'd just played his block plays. He'd played a snap where he brought someone under, he had a lead, and that was the one where Jerome actually came off his left foot.
Oh, it's on the second tackle.
All right, so you're not really thinking a kick play, right? So defending as an edge, there's a lot to take in here. You're defending the shape. You're looking up. You're seeing you got shape here, so we've got to get high. But what Cleary's seeing here is Tedesco on the other side of the ruck. So what does that mean? Where he isn't, he can't cover this kick.
He's not defending the kick.
He's not defending the kick. So play this out.
So he's thinking right here.
Pause. Where's Tedesco?
Way back in the centre bit. Like, look at
So
him.
he just can't get there. And to be fair, because it's a play 3 sequence where it's like we've gone little jab, and then a big overhand right now. That's what sets this up. And for me, this is the art of footy. And this is maybe where people watching the game at home on the couch maybe don't see. They'll just look at this play and be like, wow, like that was cool.
They got lucky.
No, they got luck. There's no luck in it. This is manipulating defense at its best, and you've got a player on top of his game coming back in after how many weeks out, being able to pull the strings like this and deliver and execute a really good kick through tight spaces for them to score a pretty pretty well
So
constructed
it's
try.
moves on top of moves. The thing that I noticed, right? You sent me through this video to have a watch, and as a normal fan, like this is just normal footy. This is just you hit up.
Yeah.
But after listening to you talk, all of a sudden, all I'm thinking of is like even this little glance up to see whether Tedesco's got himself involved or not yet, and then the ball gets played. Does that, skips back. This is my favourite part of this entire play, though, is when you watch Nathan Cleary skip back.
Yeah.
Like, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yep.
After this carry here, he'll go up, offload it. Look at him skip back now.
It's a
Look at him
sequence.
sprint back. He knows exactly where he's got to be, what he's doing. He's watching the play the whole way through, and then bingo.
And everyone's on the same page, right? Because I see To'o come in and then he boosts it straight back out to the wing.
Yep. It's honestly, it's like what's that saying? Death by 1,000 cuts. Like
Yeah.
Paper cuts.
it really is. It's just slight little nicks at the defense. Nick. All right. Wow, you've given us the look that we've prepared for all week. The look that AI couldn't tell us that we were looking for, and then gone and executed
I like that.
at a high level, man. Like that kick. Let's not even underestimate that kick there. That's on the wrong side of the field for a right foot kicker.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a double lead, so spaces do get tight. But because of that double lead, the fence has to get high.
Does he have another option? So he does kick this, right? Does he have another option, or the kick is the option?
No, he's got Jerome out the back.
And then so you go out the back, you got those two runners up front, and there's Jerome's call.
Yeah.
So if you don't make the kick, you're passing it to arguably Jerome's in some fine form as well. He might not be.
Yep.
Jerome
So
Hughes,
look at
but
that space out the back. See,
Luai's incredible form at the moment.
And Taruva out the back, swinging off the back of Jerome. Like everything is in sync, and all options are available. So for insights this week, I saw that clip and I was like, man, there is some stuff there that like is so detailed, so well executed that it was actually just like for a half watching it, I was like, man, that is so good to watch.
That was sexy. I ain't gonna lie. You break that down, that was hot. What do you do if you're the Roosters? How did they get that wrong?
If you take it back, so to be fair, the Roosters are ticking all the right boxes, right? This is where it becomes, it's on the athlete. So there's the footy now, so there's the athlete, and then there's a footy now. So if anything,
So that's a huge carry, right?
that's a big carry, right? But here, the fence gets high. Joey Manu sees it, but just a second too late. Okay, now pause. I'll play it out a little bit more. Pause. See, Joey Manu actually does read it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this kick isn't that straight, Joey probably does have a better chance at cleaning this ball up. But because the kick is so well executed, it's too far for Joey to turn. He just turns that fraction a little bit slow, maybe a little bit late.
Two runners.
Two runners coming through, so he's got to defend that run, man.
Is that so you cannot tell me that Cleary's seen where Joey is in the line and he's decided to straighten that kick. Is that what you're saying? He's doing that?
100%.
Are you kidding me?
He's a freak.
No, 100%.
But look at the
freak
players
lad.
in front of him.
No,
He's
no.
got 1, 2, 3, 4 players all in front of him that he has to weave that ball through. He's actually already seen where
It's
where
all
Joe
about
Manu
kicking
is.
lanes too. So Cleary's gone for the lane that's directly in front of him. All right. But he knows that Joey's up high. You know, as a half, you're kicking the ball through this lane. Like, from what I've heard to support all of this is the amount of video that this guy actually watches. There's something so consistent with the messaging you hear about this guy and how detailed he is. So over all of those periods he was out, they reckon he was just breaking down film on sides that he was a chance of playing at the back end.
He's a savant. Isn't
He's a
grew up
savage,
around
bro.
it,
He's a savage. And just to see him come out and do this, like 100% Matua, he knew that if he puts the kick through this lane, it definitely is further. And your cues are, what's he's looking. All right, Joey's high, back row's high, there's a good chance for a kick.
That's a lot to compute.
It
and
is,
then to
but
be able to
Break
execute.
it down now,
Wow.
bro.
Hey,
That was dope.
To bloke in a bar's point, you wonder why there's players that get the extra 200-300 because in these big games, like that is what you get. That is what you get.
That was hot, Wade. That was hot.
I like that. That was fun.
Play on in partnership with BNZ. Play on.
Hey, we love this part of the show. Working title, actually. If you're listening to this, Facebook
Yeah.
page is currently called The Players, which was actually
I
Shaun's
like
idea.
this.
I was thinking, let's maybe not, maybe not go with that.
This guy.
But what should we, like, is there a name? For the shifters, or for the morning shift, it's called The Shifters, just
Yeah.
to kind of give some sort of context. Like, this is open. If anyone has any ideas, please send them through. But we just chucked out there, if there's any questions you guys had, we're always open to this. Let's start with this number one here from Reese Kimber. He said, do you guys have any pre-game superstitions? And if so, what are they?
I mean, early on, to be fair, by the end of my career, I did not. Early on, though, I remember a big one for mine was always dinner the night before the game. had to just be like steak, mash, and broccoli.
Every time.
It was just every time. That was my pre-game feed. But by the end of it, I realised that if you look after yourself well the whole week, getting one meal, it ain't going to make a difference. Here's a hot tip for you. Don't go binge all week and then think you get the one right before the game that you I'm sweet, because nah. So that was my one, but nah, nothing that stands out to me.
I
Sorry.
remember I always used to listen to, I had the basics, I put on my left sock first,
Oh, okay.
right sock,
Yep.
left shoe, right shoe. Had to do that. I felt like if I didn't do that, I was going to have a terrible game. The other one was, there was about a 4 or 5 year period. Then granted, the heights that I went to nowhere near what Shaun did. So that makes us even worse or funnier. I used to listen to Chris Brown, Please Don't Judge Me. Bro. For like an hour on repeat before every game. And then people would ask me, what are you listening to? And I would lie to their face.
Who are you, bro?
Dr. Dre, still DRE, you know, like Tupac, you know, I would lie to their face, but it was on repeat.
Okay, just so, we can
please.
we can jazz this up. Is there any one you've seen with a big superstition? Because I got one. Our teammate Michael Luck. I don't know if you remember him. All right, Michael
Yes.
Luck.
Lucky, yeah.
Lucky. All right, he's the best bloke ever.
Glad I got that right.
He used to pull on this singlet, this like singlet made out of just cotton. Like it wasn't a sportswear top. It was like just your basic material.
The one that your mum made you put on when
Underneath
it was
the
a cold weather.
t-shirt type vibe.
Yeah.
And it was ripped and holed. And sometimes I was like, bro, what even is that anymore? And he had this. I could be wrong, but what I remember, he had it his whole career. Wow. So I got lucky at the back end of his career. So you could imagine what this thing looked like. It was
And smelled
faded.
like.
It looked like a rag your old man would almost like clean the wheels in the shed with. You know, it was like a garage. It was a garage rag, really.
And you'd wear it every single game.
He wore it before every game, and he'd pull it on. I'd just be like, bro. And he's like, yep, I've had it my whole career. It's too late to get rid of it now. And I was like, whew, okay. So that was one that always stands out to me, eh? Like, had to have that singlet. I'm not sure what he did if he ever forgot it, but I remember him putting it on before some of our games.
But to that point, I heard that Michael Jordan, going back to the guy who owns the number 23, but not the GOAT player of all time, he wore his North Carolina training shorts every game he played. Like the same pair of shorts. So he didn't replace them and get a new one. This was the same pair of shorts. He played 82 games a year, and then he'll go off and probably play close to 18 in the playoffs. So it's 100 odd games a year over a 15-year career that he wore the same pair of shorts.
They would have been small and tight too, because if you think about back in the days when Jordan was playing basketball,
My
they
favorite.
didn't leave a lot to be desired.
No,
There's no guessing.
Knew everything was going on. Your brother Adam's going to love this. Why did he not play in the NRL? From the stories we tell and the stories we hear, you guys were both guns. Wait, did Adam write that?
Did Adam write that? Who, can you let's
No,
show
Michael Elliott. Michael Elliott
Elliott.
wrote that.
I wish I knew Michael Elliott so I could say that was set up and loaded.
No?
So Adam, my brother, he's a really good player. He was a really good player, and he played half, and I played number 6. So that was us through our age groups.
Yeah.
We were completely different players. I loved attack. He loved defense. He loved that some big guy would look at him. He's a lot shorter than me. That would just be like, ha, there's the spot. And then he would just dip and crack, bro. He could hit. But to answer the question why he stopped, he pulled up to preseason. I'll never forget it.
Because he played Warriors, right?
He played like in development and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was like almost like the rep teams after you get pulled together and you play. So there's not really any heavy training involved.
Bro, I saw him in the Warriors jersey. That's enough for me.
Yeah, so that's his claim. But obviously the off-season rolls around and you go, all right, come back for the preseason. He comes back for the preseason. I've got a preseason under my belt already. He calls me after it. He goes, nah, yeah, that's not for me. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's too tough. It's too hard, and I'm not going to do that. So off he went, and he never came back.
He seems happy with the decision he made, though.
Oh, no, he's doing just fine. Tiger Construction, he's going all right there.
He is going all right.
Yep.
I like this question here. It came from Shaun Rooney. If you could have one moment back in your sporting career, what would it be and why?
If I could have one back.
Have a think, Marc.
Damn.
Why me? What,
feel
for
like-
Shaun?
What did Shaun do that you really just
Yeah,
sort
who
of
could
like?
take it back?
Damn, if I could have one.
I've got one. I don't know if it's my sporting. It's not necessarily my sporting career.
Okay, can
but
you go? Because this is a.
You ever think about
this? This is a real flip of the coin for me.
There's a lot more that weighs in on whatever decision you make. People care about that one. My one is. Oh, sorry, Marc. Marc tells me off when I hold the mics. I wish I didn't have the surgery that I had on my hip, because I would always have questions about how far could have everything gone. Now, one day we will tell the story. I don't think today's the day we will tell the story about the hip surgery that went so terribly wrong. And maybe I was never actually going to be that good, and it was the best thing ever to happen, because now I can just lie and be like, oh, this other guy. The surgery went wrong.
You got an out.
You know, like I've got an out.
Yeah.
But I still do sometimes wonder, like, if I didn't get that surgery, what would have happened?
That'd be hard not to, eh?
Yeah. But it's all worked out.
Now that you've said, mine is, there's one or the two. But no, I will go this. I wish the ankle injury I had.
Oh.
If I could erase one moment from my career that it purely altered how I could move, it is that moment, bro. When I broke my ankle, what came off the back of that was a whole heap of other stuff. So
Compensating the body.
Yeah, man. I had a partial dislocation, fracture.
Ugh.
So I've got plates and rods, and then I had troubles where the pin snapped. Had to come out both sides. So my ankle's botched, right? And the range of motion in my ankle was botched. So on the back of that, I started to feel hammies, groins, back, Achilles. Things happened, you know? And I'm not saying that, hey, I wouldn't have had another one, but I just feel like if I didn't have that injury, man, I reckon the way I moved would have just continued for a few more years, you know, and who knows if I actually would have been forced to become the player I ended up being.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think even just with how it affected me, you know, like physically.
Yeah.
A bit like
Question
you, bro.
marks.
A bit like you.
You always
Who
wonder, right?
knows, man?
Final one here from Moses. Who would you invite over? So I'm thinking when they say who would you invite over, we're thinking like a celebrity that you'd love to have a conversation with. Let's start with that. There's a follow-on to this though, but who would you have over for dinner?
On the spot.
I would love to have
Like
Dave Chappelle.
alive?
Alive, yeah.
Alive, okay.
I would love to have Dave Chappelle. That would be mine. Marc? And there is a follow-up to this, but we're just going to see who first you would like to welcome over to the house and have dinner.
Mine would probably be LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron
Yeah,
would,
mine would be LeBron.
Would be dope.
Maybe David Seymour.
What?
That's my guy, bro. Oh, no, fair enough, too.
I would love to just sit there and talk to him and see if at any point we would
Yes,
agree
sir.
on anything. Sorry to go political, but
No, great.
that's all I could think of. Like, if you just sat there and you're like, no, that's not me.
Go easy. That's who Shaun votes for, so watch out now.
He got my vote after Dance with the Stars.
No, the question is, on top of that, what would you make that person for dinner?
Oh,
But I love that David Seymour's coming up. You can make something weird. But I know you guys can both cook, so wrap it up with us.
Nah, well, what I would do, I thought I'd go a nice slow cooker. So I'd maybe just go like lamb shanks in a slow cooker.
Yeah.
And that would allow me to pour, I know LeBron likes his wine.
Come on, talk
I'd
to me.
crack a bottle. I'd pour us a couple of reds. And my first question to him would, I want to know, like, at what point, I just want to know his biggest challenge throughout his career. And I purely want to know that because has there been ever, we can put all our differences aside, has there ever been a person who has faced more pressure than LeBron?
Never, bro.
nah. Not
Coming
in the modern
in
era.
from high school as the chosen one. Like,
Coming in at a time where social media gave everybody's closet was opened and
Right.
skeletons were pulled out of it.
now,
Here's Mr. B.
for
bro.
him to go on and do what he's done, like for me, I'm like, bro, you.
Yeah.
At what point was it at its toughest for you though? I would love
great
to be able to know that. Yeah.
Actually, screw David Seymour. Can I come to your dinner with you and Bron?
what would you?
What would you make? Marc's a chef. Just
No,
on
I'm not
the
a
low.
chef. I can just
Come
make
on,
a
brother.
good bolognese. I'd
Ooh,
probably
you're
have,
chef.
yeah, I'd take over. It'd just be leftovers in the fridge if I'm being honest with my.
For Seymour?
Yeah, for Seymour. Just whatever's left in the fridge.
Brook,
I'd love to try and make a lamb roast. Probably butcher it, but I'd try.
you'd try.
Yeah, and then wash it down with the wine as well.
Can I just say, I love these questions by the way, but if there was one person in all of history that I could invite, it would be Bob Marley. I would love to sit down with Bob Marley and I would smoke that bad boy with him too.
Come
Would
on,
be,
bro.
man.
Welcome to retirement, brother.
Oh, bro, no, but like, oh,
No, so you got
I
to make
love Bob.
stories, and if Bob Marley comes to your house,
What are
and
you
don't,
doing? Hey, what
you
are you
don't?
doing?
To that point, Snoop, what are you up to? Let's go.
Nah, Bob, baby.
If you ever have questions, please check them on. It's the players at the moment. We're talking about changing that, but the Play On Sports Show. You'll be able to find it on Facebook. Questions always.
By the way, I don't mind like the bench or something. I'm just throwing that out there.
Play On in partnership with BNZ.
Play on. Yep, welcome on in to your weekend sports menu. A lot of sports on this weekend as well. Let's dine on in with the entrees. Gentlemen, it's nice to see you back. And run through with the UEFA Champions League. Round 1 gets underway this week. It's a bit of a selection of 4:45 a.m. in the morning and 7 a.m. games. We've got the NFL, and the pick of the rounds for the games there, 8:25 a.m. on Monday, is the Ravens taking on the Cowboys, and the 49ers versus the Rams. And finally on the entrees, NPC, it's City versus Country, the City Bowl. And that is, of course, Auckland taking on Southland on Sunday at 2:05.
What is more city and what is more country than Auckland and Southland too? It's a spot-on name for that. This week, though, I'm just going to dine in on a bit of the NFL.
Yeah, he's been watching a lot of NFL.
I love
One
that
is
answer.
I'm watching the red zone. I'm breaking down. I'm thinking next year I play fantasy. I'm thinking, how do we get
God.
over and watch?
I will go the... You know what? Give me the country. Give me the country versus the City Boys, baby.
I like that. Into the main course, and you'll find there's plenty going on. We have the semi-finals, of course, NRL semi-finals, 9:50 p.m. on Friday, Sharks taking on the Cowboys. Saturday, 9:50, Roosters taking on the Sea Eagles. And then a healthy dose of the Bledisloe Cup. 5:45 p.m. on Saturday, Accor Stadium, Wallabies taking on the All Blacks.
Interested to see what you go with here, Shaun.
Well,
Which one of the two?
guys, there is a red-hot chance I might be in Australia. First-person experience actually on the panel for those NRL fixtures.
What are you doing?
Friday night, baby, your boy might have got a little gig with Fox.
Oh, you got the call
Oh,
out.
boy.
So I
wait.
requested a job in my last interview after my last game, and they've come knocking.
No way.
So there's a chance. If it's not this weekend, it's probably likely to be next weekend. But so I will.
When
for
do
me,
you find
mate.
out?
No, I was just actually waiting to find out now. So I will be taking, the NRL for Remain. Either way, I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm way too intrigued in the Bledisloe game. For all the wrong reasons. I hate the feeling that I think the All Blacks win it, but I hate the feeling I think the All Blacks win it. You know, like
No, they're good, bro.
that's
they're
enough.
good.
I'll be watching, but
Let's go, boys.
I got the All Blacks.
Yep.
I'm watching the ABs.
And finally, in desserts, we have the Australian NBL getting underway for the Breakers. Saturday night, 8 p.m, taking on the Brisbane Bullets. Farah Palmer Cup Championship Finals weekend Sunday, 4:35 p.m. Manawatu Cyclones taking on the Otago Spirit in the final of the Cup Championship. And, of course, can't go past a little Heartland Championship. 2:30 p.m. Saturday, Poverty Bay put their winless record on the road as they take on King Country. Any takers for Poverty Bay?
Well, I think you could go past it because no one's taken it yet. But I love it. Keep trying. Maybe the season will come up soon.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going there. I'm sorry. I'll go.
I will watch King Country any time of the week, though.
Yeah, I'll go the Breakers, please.
I'll go to the Breakers too. Interesting. They got a brand new squad, a brand new coach.
Do they have any Kiwis in there?
They've got one. They've got two. Excuse me.
Nah, man, it's not the one.
It's all changed. They have new ownership.
I don't care.
They've gone away from home cooking, and it's
No,
going to
they
be
need to
very
get
interesting to
mix,
see
get
how that one
blend.
plays out.
Keep us engaged here.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch that as well with interest. See how they go. They're playing Brisbane, which will be a tough game, but I'm watching that with absolute interest.
Because if they go out and win the whole thing, no complaint.
Yeah, the boys!
Yeah, the
Yeah,
boys.
the
Go on, the
boys!
Breakers.
Hey, whatever it is you choose to dine on your sports weekend, we hope you enjoy. Catch you next week.
Stacey, remember.
Hey,
if you need
BNZ,
me,
baby. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah,
hey.
BNZ. That's probably more. BNZ,
Yeah, we
what's
just
up?
did our first show with a sponsor.
Ah.
Play on.
Lamborghini. Look at the speed! Shaun Johnson! Aguero! It's over! Pass is intercepted at the goal line. In your life have you seen anything like that? Elliott hits it over the grandstand! And New Zealand are in the World Cup final!
Play on. Play on. Play on. Play on.